Hey, Chris, have you started to write your questions out for the
No, I do that on
debate?
Saturdays.
All right.
But I think about
I'm talking
it.
about the Republican debate in New Hampshire.
Well, we had a big meeting on it yesterday.
Because I'm going to be on assignment next Friday. So
Yes.
the next time Brian and I get to talk to you again, I think will be a day or two after the debate.
Yes.
Would you ask Rudy Giuliani how he can expect that his social views would be accepted by conservative Republican voters? When's the last time, Mr. Mayor, conservative Republicans were in favor of sanctuary cities
He's writing this down.
and gay rights and gun control and abortion paid for by the federal government? Do you really think the Republican Party is going to embrace that and put you as the head of the ticket?
I think he'd have an answer for that.
You do?
Yeah, and yeah. I think he'd say, my views are my views. Look, first of all, he's moved a considerable amount on all those issues.
Yes.
He now is very much pro-enforcement.
The old Rudy.
And one of the things he says is, so when I was the mayor of New York, I was representing New York. As the president of the United States, I'll represent the entire country. I think it's a very good question. I think he'd be able to handle it. I don't think it'd be a tough question for him.
Chris, bring us inside the meeting, could you? Because we're never invited to those meetings. If I was there, besides getting to hang out with
You wouldn't be allowed in the meeting.
Okay, that's why I'm asking, Chris. So tell me what happened in the meeting. I mean,
Well,
do
I'll tell you
guys
that
look at other
without
debates
giving away any big
Okay.
secrets, I'll tell you the first thing we're asking is Fred Thompson going to be there?
Right.
Because we were told early on that he was going to be there. He was going to announce the day before on Tuesday, the 4th of September. We're broadcasting from New Hampshire on Wednesday, the 5th. And now there's a real question as to whether he will have announced and whether he'll be at the event.
Who you having on Sunday, Chris?
I have to say, maybe my favorite, I don't know that I think he's going to be the next president, but certainly one of my favorite Republican candidates for president, Mike Huckabee, who's just always entertaining, always interesting, always provocative, and seems the Republican voters have noticed because he suddenly has jumped out of the second tier, and he's not a front runner yet, but he's made a move. He's a player in the GOP presidential
He's been on with
contest.
us 3 times. He's so darn likable.
He's
gives
got a
you
direct
an
answer, and he doesn't talk in sort of boilerplate. He talks in a way that it's very accessible, very understandable. Very attractive candidate, no question about it.
All right, Chris Wallace, we're going to be watching this weekend.
And let me tell you an interesting thing that happened. Last week, we were preempted. I almost mentioned this on Fox and Friends this morning. We were preempted for coverage of the hurricane and Geraldo Rivera. I got hundreds of emails, people complaining and saying, you know what? You had Karl Rove on. The hurricane it was like another hour. It wasn't hitting any place. We wanted to see Karl Rove on Fox News Sunday.
No preemption this Sunday.
You never know.
Right.
I just think that's an interesting message to our bosses there on the second
is.
floor.
Don't
our
mess with the
bosses are
Wallace
listening.
broadcast.
We'll be watching it, Chris. Thanks very much.
See you guys.
This is Don King, and you're listening to a couple of talk radio heavyweights, Bryant and the Judge, on Fox News Talk.